Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, new at 6, the search continues for victims of a deadly mid-air collision in Washington, D.C. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The NTSB just gave us an update. And here are 3 things we learned. The first, the data recorder of the Sikorsky Black Hawk helicopter was found today in good condition. The NTSB says the main lifting of the wreckage is expected to happen tomorrow when barges from Virginia are expected to arrive. And air traffic control is conducting interviews right now with any witnesses. That information is expected to go to the NTSB for its report.
The remains of 40 victims have already been recovered, and the NTSB anticipates more will be recovered tomorrow as the debris is salvaged.
And a man from Salem was one of 67 people who is presumed dead tonight. We've been learning more about Casey Crafton's life and how people are helping his family.
Fox 61's Kayla Cade is at Salem Town Hall with more.
People in the community say Casey Crafton was a man of faith. He was loved in town, and there's an outpouring grief that you can see throughout social media and in town.
The nightmare for everybody. Like, your spouse gets in the car and doesn't come home.
That's the unfortunate reality for the Crafton Gap Boys family.
He goes on a work trip, a thing he's probably done dozens of times, maybe hundreds of times, I don't know, but often. And he doesn't come home.
Casey Crafton was on an American airline plane, traveling to his home in Salem from Wichita, Kansas. His flight had a layover in Washington, D.C. Moments before landing, a Black Hawk helicopter crashed into them. Both aircrafts went flying down into the Potomac River. There were 64 people on board, all of which state officials presume are dead.
This is a huge loss for the community, a huge loss for his family.
Pastor Jonathan Cakeley with the Congregational Church of Salem is a friend of the family.
He was just a great overall guy, somebody who he helped out with Apple Fest and stuff here at the church. He was a servant of the church.
Crafton was a father to 3 boys and a husband to Rachel.
I've been in contact with the family, and they're all devastated. He was loved, and Rachel is obviously crushed.
Cakeley says he was involved in his kids' lives and his community.
Playing with t-ball, baseball. He was also involved in soccer in Montville.
The Montville Youth Soccer Club posted on Facebook that Coach Casey, quote, helped to enrich the lives of all of those that he came in contact with. On Sunday, Cakeley says the church will stop their original plan and open their Bibles to John 11 and mourn his loss instead.
We're sort of actively transitioning around that to try to prepare to care for our community.
He says to keep the Crafton family in your prayers.
Rachel just was like, people were asking her what she needs, and, what she needs is her husband back, and that's not going to happen. But I would say this. Know that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted. He will care for us in this kind of moments of grief.
There's a GoFundMe and meal train set up if you would like to donate to the Crafton Gap Boys family. You can find both of those fundraisers on our website, fox61.com. In Salem, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
A gloomy, rainy, icy Friday to end the work week, but we're still tracking some of those showers tonight.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. Hey, Rachel, what are we looking at this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend we will be drying things out, so it's really just this foggy, rainy Friday night that we have to get through first. You can see snow well to the north of us. That is no longer our issue, and there was some ice in spots this morning, but again, that's not an issue anymore as well. Right now, we're dealing with mainly areas of light rain. However, I do think the rain will fill in a bit more as we head through the evening tonight, and then around or after 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, it'll all come to an end. Right now, 40 degrees in Hartford and near 40 for the New Haven area. You can see both cities shrouded in some fog, and here's a look at some of that visibility. Not too bad out there, but we're down around about a half mile for New Haven. So as you're driving around, you'll notice that as well. Temperatures between 35 to right around 40 degrees. And we're looking at temperatures that'll drop back towards daybreak. So I think overnight numbers will hold fairly steady for a while. And again, around or after midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll see that rain come to an end. Heading into the day tomorrow, temperatures will actually fall instead of climb as the day progresses. It's also going to be breezy. So even though high temperatures are in the 30s, it'll feel like the teens and 20s for most of the day. We're going to time out some snow to finish the weekend. Your full forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Rachel. New tonight, a Connecticut school district wants Congress to do better when it comes to the quality of food served at local schools.
Yeah, the Ellington School District says they're concerned that processed foods may be contributing to both chronic illness and a lack of classroom concentration. Fox 61's Matt Karen got an inside look at meal preparation.
School leaders here in Ellington are asking Congress to take a second look at lunches, concerned that the food is overprocessed and may contain harmful chemicals. It's lunchtime at Ellington High School. And the Yardbird chicken sandwich is all the rage.
I think that after I eat, I can think better.
But despite Ellington's best efforts, district leaders say they have concerns that the federal National School Lunch Program is too restrictive.
There are a great deal of regulations and portion sizes and food and where you can get it and how you can get it.
Ellington says some food is sourced local, but they jump through hoops in an unnecessarily complicated regulatory environment.
If we wanted to get cheaper eggs down the street that were local, the regulations would prohibit us from doing that.
Dr. Nickel says school lunch nutrition is falling short of its obligation to help kids concentrate in the classroom.
Everyone kind of knows that something's a little bit off with our food supply, that there are possibly harmful chemicals, ultra-processed food.
It's why Ellington's Board of Education sent this letter to Connecticut's congressional delegation, asking them to work with the federal government on testing for contaminants, citing a CDC report showing more than 40% of kids have a chronic illness.
We know it's not healthy for our kids, and we see that something is amiss, and we know that that impacts their ability to learn, to socially development.
The Ellington Public Schools has never shied away from wading into political waters, but they're confident it's non-controversial.
This is not a divisive issue. This is something in this nation where we can all come together for the benefit of our children.
And their message comes at a time when school lunches are on the mind of a new administration.
We shouldn't be giving 60% of the kids in school processed food that is making them sick.
Students we talked to agree that a healthy lunch gives them the fuel they need to be their best self.
And by having these healthy lunches, it helps students stand up in the classroom by participating more because they have the fuel that they need for class.
And here in Ellington, they're extending their plea for healthy food to the home with their Ellington Unplugged initiative, asking families to cook and eat a meal together without technological distractions. Reporting in Ellington, Matt Karen, Fox 61.
And a community event in Guilford has turned into a tradition, all to remember Ethan's song. Ethan passed away on this day 7 years ago. He was just 15 years old.
In his honor, they hold a blood drive, and his family also continues their mission of gun safety. Here's Fox 61's Jim Altman.
Song Strong. It is a twofold way to pay things forward in Guilford, and the day is driven by a blood drive. Goodwill in Guilford.
We've been doing this now for 3 years. We always get a great turnout from the community. It's a great way of commemorating our son Ethan, who passed on this day.
It's all in memory of Ethan's song. In 2018, an investigation found that Ethan, just 15 years old, was accidentally shot at a friend's house when they were playing with an unsecured gun.
And we decided let's have something to do on the day that he passed, which would be to give life to others.
At East Creek Landing, Ethan's legacy lives on. Teaming with the Red Cross, this is the annual blood drive.
This is an annual event that they do in memory of Ethan. We've got about 150 donors scheduled. It's going wonderful, and it's amazing to see people come out and give the gift of life.
For Ethan's parents, Kristen and Mike, the day is also designed to amplify the importance of Ethan's Law, a continued push for safe gun storage.
So Ethan's Law right now is in about 26 states, and we're currently working on about 6 additional states to get a form of Ethan's Law.
The motto here is Song Strong, which is all about harmony.
You know, when Ethan died, this town really saved us.
They really did. They mobilized like nothing I've ever seen. And so it's just so touching that it's continued. You know, it's 7 years later and I still have people who are showing up for everything.
So the most meaningful thing about today is turning a very negative, tragic thing into something positive. But if you have a mission like we do, just to keep kids safe, to save some lives, you're going to be okay.
Song Strong, it is a good organization to learn more about, and if you want to find out more, we have a link at fox61.com and on our Fox 61 News app. In Guilford, Jim Altman, Fox 61.
New here at 6, New London police are investigating a shooting from last night that put a man in the hospital. This happened at Favorite's Bistro Bar restaurant around 9 last night. It's unclear what led up to that shooting, though. When officers arrived, they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was then taken to the hospital. His conditions are still unknown. Police say this is not a random act, though. If you know anything, you're asked to give New London police a call.